Hey, Podkids. So, this episode was recorded live with our Podtrons, the exclusive subscribers to jimandsab.com, our foundation, if you will. If you want to join more events like this, you may subscribe to jimandsab.com, where 100% of our proceeds go to a different beneficiary each month. Wake Up with Jim and Sab is exclusively on Spotify.
If you want to start your own podcast, check out anchor.fm. And if you like the podcast, make sure to follow on Spotify.
Also, share your stories
And tag.
and tag us on at Wake Up with Jim and Sab on Instagram and at ano ba?
Di ko alam.
Anyway, ito na yung show.
Can I ask you to stay? But say I'm the only.
Okay. This is the letter, okay? KL. From KL. Wala akong love trouble and sometimes it is troubling to me. I have not dated for years. Haven't had a relationship for 5 years now. Don't get me wrong, I love my independence. I love my own company. I'm still young, turning 26 this Feb actually. I'm used to being alone. In fact, I love it, honestly. But every now and then, I get lonely too. I don't know if it's just the hormones or stress, but sometimes I get afraid that I will get too good at being alone, that I won't allow new people to be part of my life, or that I will just be this forever. It's daunting. Parang bigla akong nag-jump sa future self ko. Then, ito pa rin, I'm alone. Lol. Hindi naman siya masama, as I've said. I love my own company. I love being alone. There is nothing wrong with that. Pero baka kasi the fear also roots from the assumption that if I don't get a boyfriend soon, I think I'll just forget how to love someone else altogether. Maybe I'll forget how to feel loved too. I know naman it's my own fault rin. I don't date, I don't go out, I don't necessarily make an effort anymore. Kapag nag-effort din naman ako, wow, di ganun kadalas as in, it doesn't necessarily go anywhere. So I get frustrated or defeated. So wag na lang ulit. Then I would be on a fuck it attitude about dating. I love being alone again, blah, blah. Tapos I get lonely. Then it becomes a fucking cycle. Ewan, basta, sometimes it's scary kapag pumapasok sa utak ko yung, shit, work lang buhay mo, or ito na yun. Di pa nakakatulong yung mga comments ng mga kamag-anak and random people na, what? You're single? You're pretty naman ah. Tangina, di lang ako pretty. Matalino at successful rin ako, no? Basehan lang ba ng pagka-single is your looks? Stupid mindless fuck? Triggered pala, ha ha ha. Kahit gusto kong i-brush it off yung mga yon, minsan din it really gets to you. It makes you question din talaga, bakit nga ba ako single? You know the scene in Greta Gerwig's Little Women where Joe said, I'm so sick of people saying that love is just all a woman is fit for, but I'm just so lonely. Yung buong monologue na yon is what best describes my situation. I don't know what to do or think anymore. Because even though I know I'm more than good enough, minsan talaga di mo may iwasan malungkot, mangulila, deep. Cheka, lalo ngayong pandemya, leche. Anyway, that's the tea. Basta, hashtag rosas ang kulay ng buhay tayo this year. Yun na nga lang focus ko. Part 2 of what I wrote, lol, may pahabol. No, I just realized kasi once we remove siguro the stigma behind loneliness, maybe people will be able to talk about their feelings without having any trouble or hesitation. Or people would definitely feel like it is normal to feel lonely sometimes. Di naman porket I get lonely, hindi na ako smart, strong, independent woman. It's normal. Men and women can and sometimes should feel lonely because having longing for a companion is never wrong. It's what makes us human. Yun lang. Love you, Jim and Sab. By the way, I love listening to the pod and being a lurker in the group. This community is so strong and I feel like I have a legit safe space here. Yay! Thank you, KL. Oh, that was
Hey,
a great
KL.
read.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Wow.
Siguro ako, my first question is, what bothers you more? Is it your personal thoughts or is it the external pressure?
My personal thoughts. I think it's more, yeah, it's my personal thoughts, definitely. Kasi, parang the external ones naman you can silence every now and then. Kasi parang, mapaparoll eyes ka na lang, this is the Filipino toxic culture, whatever. But when it gets to you, when it's really in your head, napaparealize. Parang minsan kasi naisip ko, oh shit, maybe that's right. Maybe it's what's happening. Especially when, like, kunyari, I'm working 12 hours a day or like more. And then ma-realize ko, oh shit, 12:00 na. wala man lang akong ginawa sa life ko. I feel like the routine or the cycle of like having nothing more than my work is daunting essentially. And at the same time, parang, ano siya, I feel like I'm young, I should be living my best life, pero I'm not doing it or I'm not experiencing it.
Okay.
What
Right.
does living your best life look like to you?
Um, Actually, something pa rin na I can't define. Kasi if you ask 6 months ago me, or like not 6 months, more of like a year ago me, living on my own, having my own independence. Like, kasi I moved out lang from our house a few months ago lang, parang not even 6 months ago. So parang ganun. So parang this would be an ideal life for me a year ago.
Mm.
But now it's more of like, dahil mag-isa ka, parang mas na-feel mo yung confined ka in a space na parang, mag-isa ka. Parang ganun, may ganun siya. So yeah.
Especially with the pandemic, no?
Yeah. Tsaka lalo na nung 2020, I set a goal na parang, 2020, I'm gonna date. What the fuck? I'm gonna go out there. Tapos bigla nag-pandemya. Ano yun? Lord, ano ba? Ayaw mo ako mag-date. Ganun.
Wait lang. Ano ba? Is it coming from the choice not to date? Where did that come from?
I think it came from really my breakup 5 years ago. It's more of like that. I came from a very toxic relationship. It was 5 years of my life then super destructive. And parang I was parang naging na-tear apart din ako, and then more of like I had to rebuild who I am. I didn't even, parang siguro yung na-experience si Dad na ginaslight ka, minanipulate ka, parang nag-cheat na sa'yo, kasalanan mo pa rin. Ganon. Tapos, ganon levels. Tapos, kunyari, every mistake that he did was your fault, ganyan. I mean, I forgive him na. But it's just rebuilding yourself. Katulad ng sabi ni Dad, it's really harder. Rebuilding yourself, forgiving yourself. Kasi parang, there are a lot of red flags na I just let go of. Parang, ano na lang, hindi ko na lang pansinin. Tapos nung nag-break na kayo, doon ka magiging, tanga-tanga mo? Ano ba yan? Bakit hindi mo ito yan? Ganyan. So, more of having to forgive yourself. So, that's why I gave myself time, space. Do not really date. Although may mga naglo-lurk, meron din namang mga, alam mo yan, may mga gano'n, pero wala eh. Hindi rin naman nagsasucceed. So, parang, sasayang lang ako ng time ko sa'yo. Sige na nga, wag na lang. I'm just gonna invest on myself.
Yeah, and I'm glad you did that. That must have been so much fun. I mean, diba? Just being in a relationship with yourself. That's like, that's the best relationship that you could nurture, right?
So,
Not just after a breakup, but like in general.
Yeah.
can you imagine what life would be like not having access to power all day, every day? Well, for a lot of rural communities in the Philippines, they actually don't have consistent access to power. But that's beginning to change now with newer technologies being introduced to solve lasting problems like these, like the country's first hybrid microgrid system that is powered by various sustainable and environmentally conscious technologies like solar panels, wind turbines, and combined heat and power generators.
Powered by Good, the FP Island Energy Corporation, a first Philippine holdings company, has come up with microgrid systems to supply 24/7 electricity and help improve the quality of life in rural communities such as the ones in Caramoan and Kinalasag, Camarines Sur. These are only the first few steps towards a decarbonized and regenerative future for Filipinos with First Philippine Holdings. Visit their website at fphc.com or check out their Facebook page to learn more.
May I ask, like, so since 2020, what was the sorry, I might have to look at the letter again. Pero since 2020, what was the closest thing of an attempt to date?
I went on online dating for the first time. Siyempre, parang the goal nga was to go out and, just date essentially, or just find new people. And then it was still a failure kasi most of them parang, number one, gusto makapag-sex, may pandemya na nga lang. Ano ba naman?
Hindi mo pa-swab test ng ano mo.
2 weeks. Hindi, tapos ang nakakatawa pa nun, 2 weeks in yun ng pandemic. So, di ba yun yung rampant yung, nagkakakulangan sa COVID testing and stuff. So, you really want to have, really want to meet up during this time. Parang ganun. Hindi. Tapos, meron din naman yung mga hindi mo lang talaga, ayoko sabihin stupid lang sa mga ugali ko. Pero, di ba, meron naman talaga hindi kayo click, ganyan, hindi kayo ganyan. So, parang, I don't know. It's more of that.
So it's more of because actually it's more because of the pandemic, no?
Yeah, I think more so ngayon. Parang mas ano siya. Dati naman hindi ko naman na-feel yung parang parang hindi ko naman na-feel yung parang daunting feeling about being alone. Hindi naman siya ganoon ka-strong. Unlike now. Especially I live alone.
Yeah, totally. I
Okay.
mean, I'm sure it's safe to say that you are definitely not alone and feeling lonely. Lalo na ngayon, those who live on their own, it can drive you crazy, right? Kasi,
Yeah.
diba, living your single, Carrie Bradshaw life na parang, oh my gosh, I'm single finally. Let's fucking go. Biglang boom. Okay, nagsasara na lahat ng bars where I could have met the one or whatever. Pero
Yeah.
I guess what's interesting to me with your letter is the follow up. The parang, what if like we just don't super bash loneliness, or feeling lonely, right? Kasi I think it depends on what it is that you want, diba? Kasi if it's companionship that you are searching for, I don't think that necessarily means a romantic relationship, right? But I 100% agree with you about the loneliness because these quote unquote negative emotions should not be parang treated like something that should be avoided. No, we have to feel that. Kasi if you're not lonely now, imagine. But I mean, you're feeling lonely now. And if you ever decide to be in a relationship and when you find that one who you have so much fun with, it's just going to super intensify that. Because there was that negative feeling. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's more of also, parang, di ba, we have the standard of independent women
Mm.
na parang, or like, parang meron big idea about independent women. And then it's more of, kapag you feel lonely when you're in an independent, successful woman, like you cannot be called independent, successful woman. Parang ganon. It's more of parang merong sense of like, nasa TV, ganito yung independent women, ganito
Yeah.
dapat. So parang, wala nang avenue to discuss na, hey, every now and then, it's really, parang kailangan forced na you have to be independent, you have to be happy all the time, or you have to be strong all the time. At the same time, you're only human.
Yeah.
You really just want to be, you really just want to acknowledge that.
Completely. I completely agree with you. Nakakatawa si Jim. What are your thoughts on being an independent woman, Jim?
Well, yun nga. Ika nga ni Beyonce, throw your hands up on me.
Name that song.
Okay. Well, ako, I super agree with what you're saying and what Saab saying na loneliness. Kumbaga ganito, I know so many people who are married, who have been in relationships, but are lonelier than most single people.
It's true.
So,
Yeah.
loneliness does not depend on your relationship status.
Such a good point, Jim.
So, for me, I think number one, you can always use that as a counter argument to your thought. Diba na, okay, what am I doing with my life? I'm not happy. I'm ganyan. I'm not with anyone. I'm lonely. Maybe ask talaga, do a mental self rain check. Am I really lonely? Like And and it's possible. It is possible na yes. Pero the rain check could be na the rain check can actually not rain check mali, sorry. The what you can do is once you have what's your thought pala muna? Can I just try this exercise? What's your thought? What's the one statement thought?
Love
Ano yung
it,
thought na
Jim. Love
ano yung
it.
ano yung thought na kumukulo sa utak mo?
Uh,
Like what's the
right.
statement?
When I'm lonely,
Parang
well,
itong parang what thought is always recurring that pushed you to write this letter?
okay, right, right. I think it's more of like I will never be alone, ganyan, or
Okay.
I will. But I mean, yeah, shucks,
Okay.
naiyak ako.
Oh.
So
Eme.
so so and that's a very legitimate thought, 'di ba? Ay parang legitimate feeling. Pero first, I think you have to ask yourself na is this real? Parang kumbaga is this a truth? Is this something that is this a fact? Kasi number one, you have to answer na teka ha, nagpandemya nga naman. 'Di ba? It's not that easy. So there are things that can counteract that prevailing thought in your head. I suggest the next step is identifying what you can control. Because once you identify what you can control, then that thought loses its power. 'Di ba? Because like you said, I like how you said na you set goals. Maybe the problem or the thing that you can improve is maybe making the window smaller. Okay, kasi right now you said, "Oh, in 2020, I'm going to date." Maybe that window's too big,
Yeah,
'di ba? Both in terms of time and in terms of the scope of the goal. Kasi if you say in 2022 I'm gonna get married or I'm gonna find the love of my life, the goal might be too big. Maybe try shortening it first. Just like how, kasi tingnan mo, um, I'm sure since you sound like you're very career driven and you've done well for yourself, you work hard. I'm pretty sure that you haven't even had time to stop and smell the roses of your success. Because yun nga, parang and that's what happens when you're grinding every day for success in your career. Ganun talaga mangyayari, especially if you don't put in short-term goals. So, let's say kuwari, you are currently working in ito yung position mo. If your goal is, I want to be a super successful woman. But before I'm 35, kunwari lang. Then, you'll always end up disappointed because hindi mo specify ano ba yung success? Ano ba yung
yeah.
ano ba yung in this in your general and self definition of happiness? Ano ba yung success? Hindi kasi it can mean, and by doing that then you can become more specific with your goals and mas may time window na parang 6 months from now mag-a-apply ako ng loan for a car. 'Di ba? That's my definition of success 6 months from now. Then 12 months from now I'm going to buy a TV that's 100 inches. Kunwari lang. So at least you quantify it. Once it happens, you can tell yourself, shit, nagawa ko. Now, with that type of mindset, maybe you can apply it to your relationship. To your relationship with yourself and your future relationship. Na parang, kunwari, it can be as simple as, by next month, I'm going to feel comfortable. I don't know if this is just an example. Like by next month, I'm going to have lunch by myself in a restaurant 3 times a week,
That's
and I'm
nice.
gonna enjoy it.
That sounds nice.
That's a small goal that will help you defeat this thought that keeps eating your head. Diba?
Yeah.
I love it.
So, kunwari ako, I recently got in a rut. And what I did was, it's like, okay, this is what I'm gonna do. In my journal, I am going to grade every day. As in, at the end of each day, I'm going to grade it. Okay? And my goal is, ang average ko at the end of the week is a B+. Happy na ako dun. So, kumari, yun nga, Monday, I was fucking hungover. After a really long time of not drinking, it was the worst feeling in the world, being a father of two and being hungover and having to work. I did not miss it. So it was an F. So, pero when you're in that mode kasi, and because the window for me during that day was like, ay nako, tangina, tanga-tanga ko, Jim. Parang ruined it. Parang the week is over. But if you step back, wait, teka, it's Monday. So sabi ko, sige nga, isama ko yung Sunday. Sunday was super fun. Saw my band for the first time in months. A+ Sunday. Monday is an F. If I average that out, pasado ako. So maybe by applying and how the mere fact that you are very goal oriented and you seem very smart and driven, you can apply that. And I saw rin in sorry Sabi, ang dami ko.
No, go ahead. Sige, I love it.
And I saw na you said kasi something about like you're scared of the future and you're also scared of your past, 'di ba? Here's my tip. Kasi kung your future, natatakot ka na, oh no, I'm not gonna be, I might be lonely. I might not live my best life. And then yung sa past naman, I had a bad relationship. My advice to you is, itong sinabi ko sa'yo na this exercise, apply it rin to the past and to the future thought. That's a very, very separate and super helpful exercise na identify mo nga ano yung thought, si past KL. Ano yung sinasabi ni KL? What's the prevailing thought? Like, you let yourself be fooled and therefore love will always be difficult for you. Kunwari lang. That's the thought.
Yeah.
Break it down. Diba? Question it. Analyze it. And then do it also for yung thoughts mo about the future.
Great. I love it, Jim. I love
it. Yeah.
Part, nilagay ko na sa goals ko. Next week, Jim, 3 times ako magla-lunch mag-isa sa labas. Ginawa ko.
No, I think I had I think the reason why I didn't feel this much, parang yung hindi mas grabe yung loneliness ko noon. Kasi, 5 years na ako namang single. Ngayon lang ako nagkakaganto-ganto, right? But more of like, because nga, I was able to go out by myself. I do that. I do cinema dates, solo dates by myself, movie dates by myself. I keep on doing things like I do solo travel. So that's why I'm saying din na I really love my own company din naman. Like parang ganun. It's just more of like, you're right. I think right now, the fact that everything's going well with my career and then I'm just so hyper-focused on that. Super hyper-focused on that na neglect na yung other things na I used to do for myself before. Like I'm not able to go out as much because I'm paranoid. I'm just really paranoid. I can't go to the mall anymore ng that long. More of that. Pero at the same time, I think that's why it's also daunting right now as well. Kasi before I'm able to just go out, go travel. If I'll go to Palawan all by myself. I'll go to Ganyan all by myself. So you're definitely, I appreciate this. I would definitely do that, the habits again. Kasi yun siguro yung prevailing factor na I'm not able to take care of myself or be in a healthy relationship with myself as much as I did before. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think and being in quarantine and living alone, that just makes that's what makes these voices so loud. Ako kasi honestly, like in this whole pandemic, itong mga voice that fucking corrupt my head, I didn't hear those things naman before kasi I was in traffic. I was thinking, tangay na talagang Pilipinas to. Alam mo, parang, ganun yung nasa utak ko eh. Parang pagdating ko, ay nako, may papagalitan na naman ako sa office. Ay nako, pwede pang palitan to. Ganyan. Ay nako, traffic na naman pa we.
There's so introspection going on, like forced self-reflection that's been going on. And speaking of voices in your head, sorry, segue lang ako sa life coaching session ko.
Akala ko may promo ka, labo.
Labo.
By the way, may single kami.
Si,
By the
si
way,
Podmam daw kasi. Yung life coach natin si Podmam.
Oo. No. Jim, stay in your lane. Pwede. Charot.
No, but I love it. Thank you
No,
for
no, no.
that.
No, great advice, I have to say. Pero, wag mo akong kinakabog. Okay, anyway. So, joke lang. But I do want to, I do want to circle back to yung mga sinasabi sa akin na ang independent woman kasi is usually not seen as someone who gets lonely because if you do, you're not independent, you're not strong. Maybe what I want to know is like who is saying that? Because I haven't heard that.
I think it's more of like how I see it in the social media
Uh,
or also like TV series, whatever. Also din naman siguro parang I've been okay. Total sobrang sharing na. But yeah, oversharing, but I think it's more of because I've been so strong for other people for the longest time. It's harder to be weak or vulnerable.
mm,
Parang ganun. It's more of that, like, meron din akong conception on my head na parang if I show any kind of vulnerability or like loneliness or that, it also affects them because I'm like, I'm supposed to be the rock of the family. I'm supposed to be the rock of my friends. So, like, ganyan. Ganyan. So, I think it's also in my head na parang,
I get that.
yeah.
And I just know that there is some, sorry to say, deeper introspection that needs to happen because of that, because of that thought and that parang pressure on yourself to be always the strong one and the rock. And I'm sure if you take a step back, there's no one who's actually pressuring you, but you know, someone in your, not someone in your head, pero someone has probably put that sentence, that thought in your head. So, think of it lang talaga as sentences ha. Like yung, hindi ka pwede magpakita ng vulnerability kasi hindi ka na madadependahan ng mga friends mo pag ganun. They won't trust you anymore. And you just, again, you say it out loud. Be louder than the voice in your head and say, sobrang hindi totoo yun. Okay, kasi if I do allow myself to be vulnerable, then that means that I'm more relatable to other people. I mean, I think I'm an example of that. Jim's an example of that. I mean, we're totally putting ourselves out there on the podcast, being honest with how we're feeling, how we're dealing with all these mental health issues. And this is the reason, diba, if we didn't do that, why do you think that we would have this community? I mean, this podcast, diba? So definitely I'm all for being vulnerable and just loving yourself. And itong thought na sinasabi mo na I will never be loved. I I'm that just breaks my heart na that's what is in your head. That's what is going through your head right now. It's the reality. But again, let's go back to it just simply being a sentence. What is the fact that sentence, that thought stemmed from? It's the fact that this is the circumstance. It's a fact. Walang emotions involved. I have not had a boyfriend in 5 years. That's it. That's it. That's the statement, right? There's no emotions involved. It's pure fact. I haven't had a boyfriend in 5 years. So the thought there is up to you. It's in your control talaga. You're not being held hostage by your brain. So you can totally change it.
Yeah.
And I need you. Sometimes you need someone to say it to you. I know it sounds super like, what if it was that simple? Then why can't I do it? Sometimes you really have to hear it from an external voice, and this is that voice. It's me. I'm saying, change that thought. What thought could you have? Because the thought of I will never be loved. How does that make you feel?
Sad.
Sad, right?
Yeah.
And if you're sad, what are you gonna do if you're sad? You're not gonna be very productive, right? You're just gonna be in that same cycle that you were saying kanina.
Yeah.
This fucking cycle that never ends. Now, what do you want to feel instead about being single for 5 years? You want to feel like I mean, I'm guessing you do want to feel like an independent, strong woman, right?
Yeah.
You want to feel strong. So, isipin mo lang, what thought do I need to have to feel strong or feel independent? What thought? You can answer this right now or you can answer this in your own time. But I want you to come up with that thought and stick to that thought. Even write it in a post-it note, put it on your wall or no, and that's your thought na I think that's gonna change all your actions. That's gonna break the cycle. And that's gonna start you partner that with the small goals that Jim was saying. That
Mhm.
that's that's a recipe for success.
Love it. Love it. No, I think it's more, also want to share them. The
Yes.
fact kasi nga, I'm like super career driven. My work is super demanding as well. And often than not, yung mga nadedate ko and nung ano, parang yung mga insert ng mga time na yon, di rin nila gets how invested I am with my job, or
Mm.
hindi nila gets how
Oh, then they don't
I'm,
deserve you.
yun na. Yeah,
Well,
goodbye.
well, not just that, KL. I think another homework for you is to try to start defining itong living my best life, diba? Kasi that's also a thought of
Yeah.
yours. Eh. I should be living my best life. Probably, if I were to make a guess, ang best life mo is you seem like you love traveling and whatever. But so that's something that we can't do right now. But again, turn that into smaller, more possible goals right now. Like, yun nga, kunwari, if you can't go to, Boracay or whatever other country right now, the restaurant across the street that's open, that's a big step. Diba?
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Ako, I have a last thing lang.
okay, go.
You
Sorry,
said
Brady.
kanina yung sa social media, and from TV shows and whatever. Whenever you have thoughts like that, I really implore you to visualize and identify that person. Let's say, kunwari, yun nga, something on Instagram. You see someone on Instagram and that person makes you feel it says something to you. Na parang, tingnan mo ako. Like, di ba, parang, look at me. Like, ang ganda ng buhay ko.
Busy,
But yung
busy, busy.
but
Hustle,
yung
hustle,
boy-
hustle.
Oh,
May
parang
boyfriend
hustle,
is
hustle.
here.
Parang hustle, hustle. Pero bakit yung boyfriend ko, blah, blah, blah. If ganon, really put that person, parang imagine being in a room with that person. Para lang, that magkatao lang yung voice na yan. Whenever you feel that. As in, always have a face. Kasi if it's a bunch of voices and it's like meshing into one negative energy, ang hirap talunin nun. Pero if you put that person in a room, imagine talking to them, then mas kaya mong sabihin, tangina mo. Di ba? Parang gano'n.
If that's an actual person, actually, baka sabihin ko, kupal ka, di tayo friends.
Oh,
Joke lang.
yeah.
No,
I
but yeah.
don't mean to make you kabog, Jim, pero may super duper final. May super duper final na talaga. As in, ultimate final. Shit, nakalimutan ko yung sabihin ko. No, it was very important. Wait. About the voice thing nga eh. Hold on. It's gonna come back. And if it's not coming back. Fuck!
Great. Okay.
Ayan!
Well, KL, do you want to
Right.
say
Kabog.
anything? Para
Yeah.
habang nagsasalita ka,
Um,
isipin ko.
Yeah. Thank you for the community, and of course, thank you for choosing my Malibag. I didn't expect it actually. It's more of like nung time na yun, it was February 14, tapos I'm usually not hindi naman ako naiinis talaga sa February 14. I'm really just super chill even if nung may jowa ako. Hindi naman ako hindi naman ako naiinis. Pero this year's February 14 was really just so fucking why? Ganyan. Why February 14? Ganun. Parang ganun siya. But yeah, it's thank you for having me.
Thank you,
Tsaka
KL.
Thank
pwede
you.
po bang ipa-date nyo na ako sa kay Tsaka, joke lang.
Okay, so I'm glad to know that you're open to dating. I mean, don't
Si, si,
you
si
don't have
Prodo,
to
kanina pa nagdo-notes eh.
ano? Ito, sino?
Ang daming nagko-comment kasi sa mga patrons ngayon ng mga hakbang.
Ayan.
Ali nga
May-
kasi lang
Ay,
nandito
si
si
Ali
Krishna
pala.
Ayan nandito siya. So,
Ay,
siya na
ganun
yung
ba?
panalo. Just kidding.
Wait, naalala ko na yung sinabi ko. Naalala ko na yung sabihin ko. Last na talaga. As in, super last na. Sorry, Jim. Super final na. Hindi. Ayoko lang. I think this could be an important note then for our listeners and our podrons who are here live right now. Na let's not discount the fact that sometimes it's ourselves rin minsan na hindi natin napapansin na as we're going through, and I'm not saying this is UKL ha, not at all. Pero sometimes when we're going through Instagram, we find ourselves judging other people also. Na parang, bayan, ba't ganyan? And then, because we're like that towards other people, we become like that towards ourselves too. And that's something that is totally, that's the easiest thing. I'm not the easiest, but like in theory, you can change that because that's you diba? And that's something that's in your control. So, I found myself doing something similar before na parang I would be so hard on myself because I was also the same way towards other people. And when I became parang, you know what, I don't want to be thinking that about myself and I don't want to be thinking that about other people. And that totally changed how I am as a person. And I genuinely love who I am today. And I hope that, you get to that because once you get there, you will never think that you will never be loved.
Yeah. I think I love that. That's the Stormbreaker.
Thank you. Boom, Jim Panis. Joke lang. Joke lang. Thanks, KL.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks,
I had
KL.
fun.
Thank you to sa lahat ng patrons. It was so nice seeing your faces and your profile pictures. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys. If
thank
you want to
for
turn on
hanging
your
out with
cameras and
us.
say goodbye.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank
Thank you
you.
talaga. Thank you. You guys are so cool.
Thank you. Super.
talaga.
Oh, thanks, guys.
Oh, cute.
Oh,
everyone.
hi. Nice seeing you.
Nice seeing you. And by the way,
Random.
sa mga patrons seryoso na talaga kami ni Saab. We're really pinaplano talaga namin to. Legit na. The first
Siguro,
pod hang.
2025? Joke.
Yeah, 2025. Kailangan naka-PPE ka.
Basta mag-pray na muna kayo for, no World War III and
Yun
kulay
yan pala.
rosas ang bukas.
Yeah.
So, yes.
If Lenny wins, putang ina, magpapaparty talaga tayo. Okay?
Okay, thank
Bye,
you.
guys. Thank
Thanks,
you so
guys.
much.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.